Okay, we're live. Hey everyone, all my lovely panelists, how are we doing?
Good,
Good.
good.
Amazing. And everyone in the audience would love to hear where you are tuning in from. I like to start these things on time, so I won't do this classic, like, oh, wait a few minutes for people to start trickling in. We're going to get started because we have a lot of emails to jump into. So say hi in the chat. Um, and I have a question for you in a minute or two anyway. So welcome, everyone. Hope you have your drinks ready. I'm taking this as an opportunity to hydrate. I've got a water here because it's my 11 a.m. I wish it was 5 o'clock, but it's not. So I'll be doing this inbox on the rocks with water, where we get to dive into a lot of Black Friday, Cyber Monday emails. And we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about what we like, what we don't like. My name is Naomi. I'm part of the Customer IO team, and I'd love to pass it over to do some introductions. Vera, why don't you start us off? Who are you? What do you like about email?
Sure. I'm Vera Sadlek from an agency called Flowium, also a podcast host. And today I'm drinking chamomile tea because I'm based in London, UK, and it's already 7 p.m. for me. I'd be super happy to talk emails with you guys. It's not often I get to talk to other email nerds. So I'm like very, very happy that you guys invited me. Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. I'm excited to hear what you think about some of the emails that we have on deck. Adam, I'll pass it over to you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Adam Bianco. I'm the founder and chief strategist of Off Trail Marketing, which is my own agency I launched earlier this year. Super excited to be here. Love talking with email. I'm actually in the process of launching a new AI and email marketing podcast called AI Powered Inbox. So if you're into that sort of thing, check that out soon enough. But super stoked to chat with everybody.
Thanks for being here. I'm excited to listen to your podcast. Let us know when it comes out.
Will
Is there a
do.
rough timeline? A couple weeks? Months?
Hopefully the end of this month, early next
Fun.
month.
Okay, penciling it in. And Travis,
Hey there.
passing it over to you. Yeah, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I've been in the digital and e-com space for about 15 years. Over that time, I've worked for some brands that you've heard of, Yahoo, Leatherman Tool Group, and probably some you haven't, bunnyslippers.com and Velotech. These days, I'm holding down the CRM and lifecycle beat at Icebreaker Apparel, which is a leader in the merino wool space. It's based here in Denver. It's umbrellaed under the VF Corp, which also owns North Face and Vans and a bunch of other brands. So excited to be here, though.
Welcome. I've got a couple of really good icebreaker pieces. So thank
Very
you
nice.
to you and your people for doing good work. And would love to pass it over to the audience. I think we have a poll that should pop up. Would love to kind of know what industry you're in. Obviously, Black Friday, Cyber Monday it feels like it's e-commerce specific, but I think there's quite a few other, industries and um, company niches that do Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotions that are not in like a D2C or e-commerce space. So tell us kind of where you fall into this. I'm going to answer this myself. And as we kind of look at this poll, I'm seeing quite a few people coming in from SaaS and, of course, the e-commerce space and media. To my panelists today, we have a kind of a variety of emails, right? Some of them being e-commerce, some of them being more SaaS. Would love to hear how you think some of these strategies could be mirrored to other industries as we take a look at the email examples that we'll be going through. So here's the agenda today. We've done some welcomes, we've done some introductions. If you are treating yourself to a chamomile tea like Vera, or a water like myself, or maybe it is 5 o'clock somewhere for you, let us know in the comments what's in your glass. And after we kind of wrap up these intros, we'll start tearing down emails. Not in a way that we'll be hating on any of the emails, but we'll look at kind of the data, design, accessibility, and talk about, like, is it lifecycle? I have some more information as to what that looks like on the next slide. And then we'll wrap up this hour with some quick shots and big thoughts. So kind of like a fire round of questions, which is always fun. And if you have any questions in the audience for some of these speakers, please let me know. So here's what we'll be paying attention to. We're going to be looking at 4 different categories when we take a look at some of these emails. The first being data, right? When we're talking about lifecycle marketing and looking ahead at what's to come in the year ahead, we always talk about personalization and using data to our advantage to better nurture subscribers and build relationships with them. And so I would love to kind of look at these emails and analyze, is this email using data in a way that is strengthening its relationship with the subscriber? We'll also be talking about design, right? So does the design look great? Is it responsive? And similar to that, is this email accessible? An email that only really works for some works for no one. So I want to make sure that we're going through some accessibility testing and making sure that everyone can kind of consume this content. And finally, would love to chat about how this email fits into the customer lifecycle. Obviously, we don't really know what the trigger is, or if it's a one-off send versus maybe a segment triggered email or an event triggered email, but let's kind of talk about where we think it fits in with the customer lifecycle. So let's get this started. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share this tab, and we're going to look at an email from supply. And this one kind of caught our eye because the copywriting is so snappy. It's a text-based email, which I love a text-based email. Let me zoom out to see if we can get the full email kind of visualized. It's got a logo, have some copy here. We've got a sign off from the co-founder, and then a pretty nice footer here where you're linked out to some products, some 100-day guarantee, free shipping offer, and some social proof with the reviews. So why don't I start it off? Travis, what are your first thoughts on this email?
This made me smile. I think, it's kind of pretty clever. Like, don't buy today, buy tomorrow. Your friends here at Supply are looking out for you. Just it zigs where almost every other Black Friday email zags. So I do love the simple text format. My only suggestion is does it run a little too long? That's up for debate, but I definitely think that I smiled when I saw this. It seems very current and in trend.
Yeah, would love to hear from those in the audience. Do you think this email could be shorter? I kind of agree with you now that you've said it. When I look at this email, I read like the first line, the second line, and then I kind of skip over the middle parts and I go right down to the bottom. So yes, Leanna in the chat, I prefer it to be shorter. Spot on. Vera, why don't I pass it over to you? First thoughts.
I have mixed feelings about it. I am a fan of like plain text emails, but whenever we're going for like a plain text emails with the brands I work, we usually go like hardcore and we like literally make them look like it has been written by like a colleague of yours. So we don't use all of this like fancy footers and everything, just like to make it even more authentic. And we've tested it gazillion times where we tested like different templates. We tested this type of template versus the regular plain text versus the image based. And if you're trying to improve your engagement, click-through rates, this is the way to go. One thing that I would note though, for those of you who are listening and maybe you are struggling with deliverability, maybe you are trying to improve your click-through rates, this is always a big topic. I would recommend including some in-text links somewhere like closer to the top. Very often when I see people are doing this emails, they don't include in-text links at all. They're just like doing the text, which is great for like the engagement purposes for building the brand. But in the eyes of your email marketing platform, this will be the email with like 0% click-through rates, which can hurt your deliverability, honestly. So that's something I would totally include somewhere closer to the top of the email.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great thought and point on deliverability. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, Vera, it's a great call out on the deliverability. I'm going to be the contrarian. I'm not a personally big fan of all text-based emails. I like something pretty to look at, but with a balance of plain text mixed in. If I see a large block of text, I'm probably not going to read it unless you're paying me to read it. In this case, though, I will say this, there's a little bit of an exception here because I did read the first sentence or two and it hooked me. It is very, very, very good copywriting. So then I go to the like business strategy behind it. of
Yeah.
why discount something when people are looking to pay full price. What's the strategy behind it all? Is that coming tomorrow? And who someone's sending this to? Is this going to be for new customers? Is it for VIPs? I'd just be really curious about the cohort aspect in the testing aspect. And if you are going to do something like this, I would hope they're A/B testing this a lot so you really see how effective this is. Because unless you have this holdout group, you're not going to see, did this convert more people or not to make a purchase? Or at the end of the day, if you don't, then you're really just discounting things that people may be paying full price for.
Yeah, great thoughts. I was interested in this last PS line at the very bottom in small text where it says, if you want to be the first to know when our Black Friday deals go live, join our text club by clicking here. On one hand, I'm like, that's a great omni-channel strategy where if you are trying to build your SMS list, like getting people into this like VIP first access group. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I wonder if you could link people to preparing their cart for tomorrow. Like it almost seems like a missed opportunity. He's saying in here, until tomorrow, keep your add to carts at a minimum. And I'm like, I kind of feel like there's an opportunity there to get people to prep their carts in advance. I guess maybe the carts expire after a certain period of time and they'll lose it. But I do wonder if there's like
that's actually an excellent point, Naomi. And I think it's this footer, it's a bit redundant, right? Because you like literally just told that the sale is launching tomorrow. So why would I join your list, your SMS list? If you would offer something extra for joining the list, or like access to like extra products that will not be the part of the launch or something, that can make sense. What we do internally with the brands that we work with, and that's like literally what you just said, we invite them to put things into their cart and wait until tomorrow. Then we turn off our regular abandonment cart sequences, and at the midnight we turn on the holiday themed abandonment cart sequences. So basically they will receive a few messages from different sort of like outlets. They will receive the campaigns, but also they will receive targeted automations, which works great. So
it's such an important like step to make sure that you're also looking at what automated touch points are happening at the same time as your sales. And sometimes I feel like brands miss that. And I'm always like, oh, why am I getting a 15% welcome offer and then a 10% abandoned cart, but the sale is 50% off? Like, can I stack these? And of course you can't.
I think I probably had the same reaction to the add to carts messaging. Like I would encourage people to prepare their cart and then come back. But the PS element, last year at Leatherman, we did a email on Thanksgiving, and it was sort of a brand moment, like feasts, family, football. We're all about the things that Thanksgiving's all about. And we sent it out at like 4:30 in the afternoon, but the deals were live, so we put a little PS after it, like PS, if you're done snacking, our deals are live. And I was a little skeptical, but that email actually crushed, and it like kicked off a big weekend. And that email like almost outperformed the Black Friday send the next morning. It caught me like off guard. So I think that PS element can be successful. But
that's really cool. I love when an email like comes out of left field and surprises you as a marketer. It's always nice.
I also wonder why the PS is just so small.
So small. Yes, there's some interesting formatting things happening where the body text is indented and then like the sign off isn't. I don't actually know if that's like normal on an inbox of.
I'm also curious about hey dude, and if dude is
Did the M dash at the top too?
Is that fallback text, like they didn't have your first name or something?
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty like it is personalized fallback. This is I think like a male grooming company, so I guess the ladies could use that as well. And I guess I'm fine with being spoken to as a dude, but it would be interesting to know if that was like a personalized liquid logic up there and that dude is the fallback. And then I'm curious, the third line here, you're a big part of the supply fam. And I'm like, does that mean I've spent a lot of money with you? Or I've made one purchase or two purchases? Like, I'm always so curious what's personalized and what's not, and I will never know. I will never know. Looking at some of these comments in the chat, we have one comment here talking about, a leaked offer coming from a colleague that was made out to look like a fake email, and we didn't like
Cool
it.
idea.
I think it's
I like
cool. I think it's cool.
I
I
like it.
actually, because I'm an email marketer, I think I would laugh at that and be like, that would have been a really fun brainstorming session with the team where everyone was probably pitching ideas and that one ended up being the winner. I think that's also a technique that my mom would fall for. She'd be like, I have a leaked offer and I don't know what to tell them. Should I use it? So depending on the audience, it could work really well. And then we have some other comments here. PS is an old school tactic that drives a response, been used forever in direct mail. Definitely. They could have saved the fallback with a dude related sign off too. It's very true. And then we have some people echoing that the leaked emails are sleazy. So consensus is we don't like leaked emails. I'm tempted by a leaked email though. As
Yeah.
it sounds like you might be as well.
I mean, it depends on the brand. You can make it like super fun and super on brand for,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like someone like Chubby's could have used it totally. Like when you have like a funky voice of the brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for everyone. Sure.
All right, let's move on to our next email here. We have an email from Bubble. And okay, I've swapped over tabs, which is fantastic. Let's do a quick overview. So this is Bubble. It's Black Friday. Looks like we've got some lip gloss, some lip care, skin products. We've got a lovely 20% off site-wide, no code needed, which is really the ideal shopping experience for me. I hate a code. As a consumer, as a marketer, I kind of like a code. We've got a CTA, save now, 20% off, some fun graphics and gifts, kind of a cute holiday packaging, really fun. Another shop, 20% off. Big deals. I don't know what big deals is, so we'll talk about that later. And then we have some footer content, pretty small, free shipping, good to know, over $39, very specific. Text us anytime, not sure about what. International shipping, shop us in store, Skin School, your guide to all things skincare, that's good to know. And then the Klarna Afterpay kind of thing, and they're vegan and cruelty free. And then we've got this. Let's do a quick, change this to an iPhone 14, see it on a phone. It's good to know, good to know. Let's go back to bigger email, see what it looks like without. Okay. So at least we have alt text. That's nice. But there's really nothing else when you turn images off. No live text aside from the footer, which is good to know. Let's turn the images back on. And I guess dark mode wouldn't really impact that because it's all images. First thoughts. Let's start with you, Adam. What do you think?
I like the fact that there's the promo right up front, so that very first header. I appreciate the fact that people are skimming these emails. You can go quickly to it. I'm not familiar with Bubble. I'm not even sure fully yet what the product is. I was trying to look it up in the background. So the images, I feel like the image, that header hero image, is just too long. It takes too long to scroll and get to the actual promotion itself. I am a big fan of when companies use GIFs, subtle GIFs. I think GIFs can be overused, but using it once in some sort of animation usually works well. And so I like the use here to it. But yeah, when it looks, thinking about like the lifecycle portion, I'd be curious to see like what they're testing. Are they doing various offer tests? The fact that they aren't using a code makes me think like there's probably not offer testing. If anyone could go this and get it. So just, this is a good like baseline, but if they wanted to take it to a more advanced level, they could do various offer testings with different audiences.
Yeah. Vera, what about you? Any initial thoughts?
I actually like it. I like it a lot, but I have no idea what they sell, to Adam's point.
Yes.
And that's actually a really good thing. Whenever you're sending emails to like a bigger audience, and I assume that around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this is the time when you're sending to a bigger audience, do a
Yeah.
quick reminder of who you are. Maybe just
Mhm.
like a little sentence of like who we are or what makes us cool, what makes Bubble better than not Bubble. I don't even know what they
Mhm.
sell. That's why I can't even
Yeah.
compare them to other brands. So that would be nice. What I do love about their branding and how they organize the email, even though the hero image is like super long, but
Yeah.
maybe that's what kids are into these days. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm like much older, but I do like that they have this call to action at the very top of the email. So literally when you open your phone, and for this brand, I would assume majority of their audience would be on the phone. On the
Right.
first screen, you will have pretty much all of the information that you need to know about this sale. You will see that this is the sale, that you can save 20% off. You will have a CTA, and that you don't need to use a code. If you don't want to read the rest of the email, you can skip it. They literally
Mhm.
have everything you need in that first screen, and that's what I like about that email a lot.
Mhm. Travis, thoughts?
Like everyone else here, my not super familiar with the brand. I love the sort of the Dayglow color scheme and the smiling faces.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily suggest like Black Friday to me. Like I feel like you could run this like at any time of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not that Black Friday emails need to be black or festive or holiday,
Yeah.
but um, I, I wonder the star stamp, that little saving stamp at the bottom.
Yes. Yes.
One thought would be to maybe push it up or something. But I do. What do we know the subject line on this?
That's a great question. Let
Like,
me have a look. I don't think we
No.
do know the subject line, unless Shakuri, you in the background here have the subject line and want to drop it into the chat. But I don't see the subject line here, which is could be 20% off, 20% off site wide.
Probably not. I mean, I think you got this banner, you got the image. It's
Yeah.
Black Friday in big bubble text. I do sort of like that. There's a certain simplicity in that, and it's
Yeah.
scannable. Most people are gonna know what's up, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm
Okay,
sure.
Shakuri dropped the subject line in the chat here in all caps. Our biggest sale. ..
See,
Surprisingly.
by the time you get to the picture, you've already, there's that. There's shop 20% off,
Yeah.
Black Friday, and save now. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to lose the message here. I think
That's true.
we can quibble with some of these finer points, but there's a certain consistency at play.
Yeah. My kind of thoughts around this are, again, I also am not super familiar with Bubble, but Vera, I think you made a great point around reminding individuals who you are and like what your business is or what you provide. And I even have like inbox overwhelm, and I'm chronically online and always in my inbox. And I thrive in that environment. But lately I've been finding myself looking at like the friendly from names, and it will be like July, Joy, June, May, Fig, Olive, and Branch. And I'm like, what are these businesses? Are they like interior design? Are they skincare? Is it a cafe that I've been to once? Like, what are you? And as someone who's not familiar with Bubble, knowing that Bubble, now that I've done like research into it, it's a clean, science-backed skincare brand designed for modern routines and real results. I'm surprised to learn this because looking at this, I would have thought they're just like a lip balm company with the way that the product is displayed in the hero image. And so I'm curious if bringing in some of their products into this email, even with price points, to show here's a lip balm, it's $20, and with 20% off, it's going to be this price point. And here's like a toner or a moisturizer, like bringing in more of the product element directly into the campaign itself. I love, because I get tempted by like price points and seeing what I can actually buy. So
Yeah, this is just a baseline of 20%. Like this is a fine like starter point. But I think to you and Vera's point, if you haven't purchased before, there's some education that probably needs to happen. If you've purchased before in the past, you can personalize this by bringing in their favorites and all the different products that they may have purchased previously. So there's a lot of different ways to personalize this and to iterate off of it. So you hope they would take it another step further. But you could also see in the sequence of their Black Friday deals, this might be the very first one. They could have a few others, but I think there's a way to really personalize it based off of where the person's at in their journey.
Totally. Yeah, would be interesting to see where this one lands kind of in the life cycle of Black Friday, Cyber Monday touch points. All right, let's move on to our next email. Now we're switching kind of industries here. I'm going to jump over to more of like a SaaS tech tool called Wave. And Wave is an online invoicing solution for freelancers or consultants. You can have your own business doing it, so you don't have to be like a solo IC business person. And this email came out this morning, so it's fresh, hot off the press. They're offering 50% off 3 months of Pro. It's a subscription, so you would subscribe and get that 50% off for 3 months. We've got some kind of hero text here. Black Friday won't last. Organized books will. We've got a code and a specific date. First CTA, kind of an introductory block to what the Pro plan includes. Secondary CTA, a price slashing. Again, I pulled this from my inbox this morning. I'm in Canada, which is why it's a Canadian price point. We've got some terms and conditions down here, and then like a pretty standard footer, I would say, in my opinion. So let's take a look. Let's shrink it down. Maybe we will look at a Samsung. It's responsive, which is ideal. This is an image, so that stays the same. We'll move it back to desktop. Let's see what it looks like without images. So it says alt text, which is good. No alt text for the hero image, but that seems like it's probably okay, maybe. You're not losing too much by getting rid of that. And then is there anything else? Let's try force dark mode. Okay. As with all dark mode emails, a little bit of funk, which is kind of fun. It's to be expected. We'll turn images back on. All right. First thoughts, Vera, why don't you have a go?
There is a lot of things that are happening. I do agree with Yadira in comment. She said that it's like too busy, like no cohesive design. I do agree. Like a lot of this things that they can try to communicate could have been communicated through like an image or like a fun infographic or something. Maybe it's more, maybe they are thinking about their audience who like loves to read and analyze big data and numbers and stuff. I'm not their audience for sure. For me, it's like too much is happening. It's like difficult to read.
Yeah, fair. Travis, any thoughts?
I like that hero headline. Will you scroll back up just a bit?
Yes.
Black Friday won't last. Organized books will. You know, layers in a nice little bit of urgency without screaming. And then I see some people, they don't like the peach block there with the benefits. I sort of do. I like these.
I like it. I like the peach.
I like that they sort of, you know, I don't use this product, but I like that they provide use cases on how it will improve your, know, the way you're using this software. Upgrading will enhance your experience, save you time and stuff. So, I mean, I don't know how to communicate. You know, that's always the question. Do you use text? Do you use images? Do you put people on a landing page and let them figure it out there? There's probably a lot of ways to do it. I mean, you could probably just run that hero image and that first paragraph and then get rid of everything else. One thought is the price strike could be higher. I'd even think about putting that above the logo. I don't know. You know, you can get deep on this stuff, but it's fun.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, that was my first thought actually too. I was like, I think what would convince me potentially is the price strike being a little bit higher. But then when I think about it, I'm like, $37. Is that really good? Or would that convince me? Like maybe they're going with the approach that introducing the features that you could get by upgrading is more of a sell than the price point, but really interesting. Adam, what are your thoughts?
You just with that, they might be doing some testing behind the scenes with the placement of it. It's a great point of the value that sometimes $37.50 is a lot. Sometimes it might be a little, depending on the person. I see a lot of hate in the comments that's coming through. I actually like this this email. Look, if a company wants to do something really creative and out of the box and have this great design, I am all for it. Oftentimes, there's not tons of creative juice to do that day in, day out unless that is your brand. Also, a financial company, I don't need them to be that creative. I'm not coming here to be wowed and to purchase something. I'm looking to like, can I use this software? Which I actually have used in the past and am considering upgrading to Pro. So now that I see that there's a 50% off promo, I might upgrade. But there is a lot of elements here that is, I think, spaced out nicely. I think it's actually pretty easy to read. Even when you go down to the features of the Pro plan, it's pretty straightforward. I'd maybe look to shrink those a little bit, each bullet. However, there's not tons of text there. And I like how there's calls to action each step along the way. The Canadian dollar is a really great piece of localization that shouldn't be overlooked. They do that really nicely. So I'm here for it. I'd just be curious, again, on the lifecycle side of things. Is this for new customers? It uses Upgrade a lot, so I imagine it is being personalized for someone who's on the free plan. So be curious to see, or is this a win-back offer? Then they may be doing this deal and personalize it for those various stages of our customer types. But I think actually it's pretty well done, pretty straightforward, and again, for a SaaS platform, I think it does a nice job.
Yeah, I have to echo you. I really enjoyed this email. The only improvement that I feel like could be made is when I do kind of turn off images, there's no mention of 50% off for 3 months, which is a big mess. So the image does a good job of introducing that, but without an image, and since there's no alt text on the image, if this email lands in spam or like a classic, version of Outlook that maybe just doesn't have images ready to go, or with the introduction of AI summaries on Apple Mail, you're probably missing out on that very key piece of information, which is 50% off for 3 months. Can you read between the lines and figure that out without the images present? Yeah, maybe at the very bottom, but you kind of missed that. So yeah. Shakuri asked in the comments, Naomi, is there a specific feature that you use a lot? Would love to see them speak directly to that one. Yeah, so this is an email that I received. I'm an end user of Wave. I love it. The interesting thing to note is I have both like a Canadian account and a USD account, and I only received this one. Could be obviously that my email is attached to both and it's just 2 accounts, but I'd be curious if they're sending out like a version with USD as well that maybe just hasn't landed in my inbox. There's not really a feature that I use more than just invoicing. That's what I use Wave for. I send out my invoices and I get paid, and the free plan does a really good job at serving that need. I haven't necessarily found a reason to upgrade beyond that. And I don't necessarily feel like extra time savings would be worth that, maybe. But yeah, very interesting. On to the next. Let's jump back to a lovely flashy email because that's what we all love here. And this is like a teaser, Black Friday email, early access, which is crazy because in my mind, I'm like in August still. And I received this email the day before yesterday. And I'm like, what do you mean it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday? I don't know what I want to buy yet. So we've got an email from July, which is a luggage company. I've been considering buying a piece of luggage from them for a few months now. And so I got this, never purchased from them before. We've got this fun like marquee banner at the top, VIP access with code. I'm not sure if the code is meant to be present in that marquee. but it's not. And then we have the hero image, Black Friday early access, use code at checkout, shop now, bundle and save, Yadira, you hit the nail on the head. It is all image based, and I'll turn those images off in a second. Bundle and save, we've got this like 3-column savings here with another shop now, bundle and save, like with a code, like a scanning code, save up to $240, and then a footer. I actually really like the footer. So I'm going to turn this email into like a mobile view. Let's try Pixel. I don't like the Pixel. It's too wide. We'll do an iPhone SE. It feels smaller. So nothing's responsive, which sucks because I can't read what the like subtext is on those 3 columns. And if I can't read, can't do anything. So not great in my books. And then let's block images. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. VIP access code.
That's a big ouch.
It hurts. It hurts. Yeah, it's really too bad. We do have alt text, which is fine, but not ideal. And then, of course, with dark mode, nothing's going to really happen because it's all images. So first thoughts, anyone, take the mic.
Is the I guess I can jump in. For me, it seems like pixelated. Is it that on? Is it intentionally supposed to be pixelated?
The early access is definitely like a pixelated font.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I do feel like the bundle and save isn't the best quality of image. I'm kind of not seeing that as clear as I want. And then the color contrast, I'm actually having quite a difficult time differentiating this like teal and the neon.
Yeah. It's there's a lot going on with this. I know someone mentioned in the chat earlier about the banner at the top can be easily be missed. The fact that it moves, they made it a GIF. Like they do a nice job that you're not going to miss.
Yeah.
I do think what you could miss is the shop now button in the header image. The fact that it blends in quite a bit, that can easily be missed. My main question with this is the barcodes. Like, what is the point of the barcodes? If they have a brick and mortar, like there's no, I guess, instructions to say, bring this in and we'll scan it if they have a brick and mortar. I'm going to assume maybe they do, though it's a company that probably doesn't, because they seem like an online brand, though I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah.
But if you do have just extrapolating this out, if you do have brick and mortars and you do put a barcode in, they could personalize this to say you've shopped in store before, or you live within X radius to a brick and mortar. Therefore, we have the barcode you can bring in store. Without that, I would probably not include a barcode.
I feel like it's a design
brand. Yeah.
I feel like it's a design choice, the barcode.
Yeah.
I find it odd that like it would be something you scan because there's no mention of. I don't know if they have brick and mortar. Like this is an email that landed in my inbox, and I'm considering like having it shipped to me. I don't believe there's any storefronts, at least in Vancouver, which is where I am. But yeah, the barcode is interesting. I kind of feel like it might be a design choice.
I wonder if barcode is like part of their identity, maybe, and it shows up in other emails, but it's kind of missing me. I mean, I like tickers and headlines and chirons. I mean, Cinemark uses one in their sort of monthly rewards, and that sort of ties into the movie theme. And Adidas will use them, but this one seems a little slow. I think that it's a little. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but that transition from the image that's pink and green to that blue box, that's, I don't know, it's losing me a little bit. But
I thought at first that this was live text. Like I was hoping. I came to this email and I'm like, okay, the top is definitely an image, but we have some live text, and that for sure could be a live button, but it's not, sadly.
Something I like about this email, but they probably should improve it a little bit. I do like this running banner on top of the hero image. And like last year, we've done extensive testing of hero images with and without banners. The images with banners in most of the cases do outperform the heroes without this little thing above the banner. what they are missing though, this is like your prime real estate pretty much in the email.
Yeah.
That first screen when you open it in the mobile,
Yeah.
I would totally add the discount code there, especially because you like literally have to manually enter the discount code. So I
Mhm.
would add the discount code to that running line. What I would also recommend them to do, and any brands that is doing the manual discount codes, I would embed the discount code into the links. So when you actually check on that
Yeah.
box or whatever, that would automatically apply the discount code at the checkout. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I don't know, Naomi, maybe you did subscribe through some kind of like a pop-up for VAPs or something, because
Mm.
if you said that you never purchased, I don't know why would they put you
Yeah.
into that segment
Mhm.
of like VAPs. It
Yeah.
sounds a bit like untrue,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
for the brand. And it's like not the
That's
best
so
branding. But
cool.
something that we do with our brands before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we use this as an opportunity to collect emails on our pop-ups. So basically, instead of like doing the regular 10% off, we do the pop-up saying like, hey, sign up for our email program and be the first one to learn about our BFCM sales. And then we pretty much like automatically send them the same discount code we will send to the rest of the list during the BFCM. But I just like launched this promo for one of our brands a few weeks ago. And that brand, they do struggle with like opt-ins.
Hmm.
On average, they do get 2.5% opt-in rates. But when we launched, which is not bad, it's like the industry average. But when we launched that pop-up saying like, hey, sign up to be the first one to learn about our BFCM deals, we were able to raise that percentage to over 8%, which is crazy to
Wow.
me. So people do want to hear from you,
Yeah.
and you can totally use it as an opportunity to build your list as well.
Yeah. I love that. Same with like making sure that your automations are in check for sale periods, like catering your website strategy to make sure everyone is as aware as possible as to what you're going to offer during that period is so important.
Yep.
So important.
It's a great call out on the VIP experience.
Yeah. Am
because
I not
if you're-
special?
Yeah, you are special. However, if they actually have a VIP program, then this
Then
would
they're
just
not
water it down. And
Yeah.
you're building throughout your email experience, like you want, and just your experience in general, like you want to build trust with your consumers. And if you're giving that VIP code and VIP experience to everyone, then no one's really a VIP. I think a common thread that we're seeing throughout these with the promo code is there's not really personalized discount codes. Everyone's doing very basic standard discount codes, which of course, when you go on there, you're going to use Honey or whatever, any other tool, and anyone's going to get that, which is fine potentially if that is your brand strategy. However, if you really want to be able to track it appropriately and have that experience, just create those unique codes for users. And as Vera mentioned, then put that into the link so it carries over and makes a really great experience.
There's like no personalization happening in any of these emails, not even like a Naomi. Hey, Naomi, I'm getting a dude. Hey, dude. And that's it. And there's nothing else. No, like, you haven't purchased from us before. Like, this would be the perfect email to be like, why not purchase your first item from us with really great savings? But no.
I mean, I think speaking to that point, working for a brand and having worked mostly for brands, never for like an agency. I mean, Black Friday is like the Super Bowl of e-commerce and email marketing, right? And there's usually a primary message or a hero offer and then maybe a couple secondary. So it is sort of like, these are big buckets. I mean, this is when you send to your big list and you are trumpeting like one primary offer and then secondary ones. So where does that personalization come in? Maybe with loyalty programs and such, where there's like point bonuses or, gift with purchase or something if you are like tier 2 or 3 or whatever. But as someone who, like, my goal on that day is to get this message broadcast as far and wide. And, we're offering 25% off merino wool apparel for the most part. And there's not a lot of subtlety around it. It's brute force product marketing at that point. So there's other times in the year, I think, to kind of do those more layered approaches. And then Black Friday, it's like, let's
just go crazy. Yeah. I really liked Shakuri's comment in the chat where she said, I would have liked to see the exact luggages you were looking at in this image with a direct link to that item. And it's interesting because I have been heavily active on their website over the past couple of weeks and been getting so many abandoned carts. And now I'm like, wait, that would have been a really great piece to add. Let's say I have been, adding 2 items to my cart. Well, that's such a simple qualification for these deals. Bring in the 2 items I was looking at or multiple of them. So definitely more work. And yeah, in some scenarios, Travis, as you were saying, like just get the message out. But it would be really interesting to see if like one level up of hyper personalization, if that ends up bringing in a bit more.
I mean, we also don't know what tech stack they're on. We don't know like what
That's true.
ESP they're using. Do they have webhooks? Can they put product
Yeah.
blocks in? I mean, I've worked at places where we didn't have that ability, so we sort of had to kind of stick to the primary offer, and we couldn't add in that second.
Yeah.
Travis,
Some
you bring up
limitations there.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point where you might be limited on the email side of things. But if you are to have this, then hopefully when you get to the website, you can showcase all the different bundles and all the luggage. And hopefully if Naomi goes, she can see the things that she saw recently that might be sorted in a way where it is geared towards her. So there might be something from the website that hopefully this email connects and makes a great experience when you transfer over to the web. I guess we'll see. Naomi, you can report.
Yeah, we're dreaming. We're dreaming right now.
About that luggage.
Yeah, I will. I'll report back. I don't know. I'm not sure after seeing their emails. Just kidding. All right, so we're going to do one more email before we jump into our hot takes. And I'm going to share it. Let's share this tab. This is an email from Huckberry. And Huckberry is an online shop for adventurers and urban explorers. Their description is they've curated with rugged style in mind. They offer gear, clothing, and content that blends function, fashion, and storytelling for guys who live a little outside the lines. So with that context in mind, we have an email from them, kind of text-based, a countdown timer at the end. And what is it saying here? There's going to be breaking news music. This is probably coming later in the customer life cycle because it's a Cyber Monday email. They've got 5 bestsellers on sale with the CTA that says "Get After It," sent from the Chief Brand Officer, Ben O, and a footer. And let's have a look at how this email is responsive. Oh. It's all images. I thought this was live text. I've been wronged. Let's see. Block images. Oh, there's actually no email here. I want to cry. I didn't actually do this QA check before we jumped on this. So I'm learning this live. And Shakuri gave me this email. So thank you,
But
Shakuri.
why? It's all text.
Literally, but why?
Image.
But why? This is so sad. I guess maybe the text is linked out. Yeah, so this is a Klaviyo email. I can see it from the links. And each section is linked out. I guess it links out the product. And there's a bunch of different, take 30% off, 30% off, 20% off. I don't know if that's automatic. Thoughts? Anyone?
I actually really like this. I think there's a lot of storytelling here, and a lot of certain brands would not want to dip into this, but Huckberry caters to a elevated sort of premium audience, and they sell sophisticated products. So I like this breaking news music thing, and I really like that first bullet. Like, this hasn't been on sale for 2 years, and we don't know when it'll happen again. I mean, they can decide whenever they want to do it. So that's kind of like a little bit of fiction. But I do like these call outs. I mean, you could put pictures in it or not. Interesting choice to put the clock at the bottom. But I think this is in line with their brand. I mean, one thought about why maybe they use slices is they might be building this for the US, they might be building it for Canada, GB, other English-speaking locales, and just as someone who builds emails across locales, there's a certain consistency that comes with it, and it's easy to scale. So there might be workflow considerations at play, possibly, which is why they choose to do that. But I like.
Do you find it Do you find it easier to do image slices where you're typing out text in the images and uploading them with dynamic conditions versus just
It
having
can,
live text?
the build process can be much quicker with file slices that you're just dropping into a builder and then linking out. When you get into live text, now you're talking about fonts and padding and different devices, and it can spiral. And if you're not adept at the platform or tool, it can be a big time suck. So,
Okay. All right. Shakari dropped the subject line. Breaking news. 365 pants on sale, which I guess is the name of the product. Very interesting.
Honestly, I don't know why everyone in the comments is hating this email. It looks good. Like, in my subjective opinion, the content is okay. Maybe it's a bit hard to read, but I mean, it's very on brand for their website. Their website like literally looks the same or like super similar. So I understand like the choice of colors and everything. I do like this portion, like our co-founder's favorite release of the year. I would totally click on that. Or the pants that haven't been on the sales for like 2 years. You guys, I like literally just Google them. They don't look good. It's just like freaking chino pants. Nothing special, but I did click. And yeah, I mean, I would totally go as the plain text email. It's like less work. I don't know how it would make it more difficult. It's like literally you're like uploading the text into the thing and you're good to go, and it's easy to add it. And I do like the countdown clock at the bottom. I've never seen it at the bottom, but for this email, somehow it works. I like this email. 9 out of 10. 9
out of 10. I wish it was responsive though. I wish it was live text because when I go to a mobile device,
you're right.
And it's
You're right.
weird, like there's a weird thing at the top. Adam, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to assume they've tested into this and that it works well.
It's nice of you to assume.
There's, I would hope so. My subjective opinion is that I would have broken up that first block of text after the music. I would have probably made that another paragraph. I like if you're doing longer text, break it up in smaller chunks. If I'm not familiar with Huckberry, I'm not familiar with each of these different elements, so I'd like to have seen a picture of what that is. If they're sending this to someone who's very familiar, the repeat customer, they may not need that context. People mentioned earlier, some of it is hooking really well. The 5 all-time bestsellers, the 365 pan has been on sale in 2 years. That gets me intrigued. Though I do think there's, at some point in emails, you have almost too many CTAs and there's analysis paralysis. And so I would get distracted, like which one I want to choose. There's a lot going on here. And I would like to think there's probably ways to do some personalization of like, this person's interested in pants. Let's send them this. This person's interested in belts or slippers, or space these out. It looks like at the bottom, they have several different drops. This is the 3rd drop. So I'd be curious to like understand the holistic strategy of it all and wonder how many sales they have per each drop, because it's the 3rd one and 5 things are on sale. There's seems like a lot going on. But
that's Cyber Monday. That's Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Always a lot going on, right?
Yeah, but look, at a high level, it's like I hope they test into this and it works out well. I would like to see probably the contrast of the button, get after it to be a little bit different. And yeah, the countdown clock at the bottom is surprising, but again, maybe it works for them.
I wonder. Sorry, the thing with the clock, it's that might be as much for people sort of coming into the email like 6, 12, 24 hours later, right? Like, hey, this is still active, still viable. You haven't missed out. Drives the urgency without like air horning it. So I agree.
I would have like thinking now about like the marquee banner that we saw in the last email. I almost feel like if there was a marquee banner saying like play breaking news music or like something where it's like the 365 pants are on sale, I would have loved that. I'm just like now making up ideas based on what I've just looked at from other brands, but I don't like this email because it's completely not accessible. So that's my final take. I'm the judge. The gavel has been hit, and we are going to go back now. And I have one larger hot take that I'm kind of curious about before we jump into kind of like the quick shots now that we've wrapped up the email teardowns. I have a question on Omnichannel, an SMS or a push or in-app, and depending on what industry you're in, you could use one or the other. I'm curious if the three panelists here are thinking about this as how do we weave in other channels to support email during Black Friday, Cyber Monday? And then I'm curious from those in the audience, is that something you're thinking about? Is SMS and push or more in the mix? Do you think about website strategy as the same as your email strategy? Do you consider it but not action against it? And that's completely fine. That's me half of the day. Do you stick with email, or is like Omnichannel not even something you touch? So Vera, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Omnichannel and kind of bringing in other channels?
I mean, we're still learning every day about the Omnichannel. For all of my brands that I work with, SMS 100%. Like, have you even seen like the click rates on the SMS? It's insane. It should be like illegal. Like seriously, when you're sending the same email and SMS, and for email you get like 3% on a good day, and for SMS is like 20% or something. And by the way, last year we've tested heavily SMS versus MMS, and MMS usually costs more. For some reason, for majority of the brands, for like 90% of the brands, SMS, plain good old SMS outperforms the MMS, probably because people are like curious, they're clicking on the links, and your job as an email marketer is to bring that audience to the website, and SMS is doing an amazing job. For some of the brands we work with, we will have SMS exclusive deals as an kind of like incentive to join our SMS program, and we look at it as an opportunity to grow our SMS audience. But also, yeah, we made it a part of all of our flows. We made it a part of like all of the follow-up sequences. SMS for the win, push in app. Yeah, the more the merrier. If you can kind of like marry all of these things under the one umbrella, would be awesome. So you like don't bombard people from like different outlets, but you can create like a more cohesive omni-channel experience. That's the way to go. Yeah.
Love that. Adam, thoughts?
I try to leverage as many own channels as possible. Like what's available, let's take advantage of it. I think the in-app and in-product experience can be very overlooked. If people are engaged with your product and in your app, that's the area that might be the most effective of getting them to the right spot or showing them the right deal. We've seen conversion rates be exponentially higher than something like an email. But of course, for those that aren't engaged, you need to leverage your push, your SMS, your email to get people to the website, get people into the app, and just leverage as much as you can. Understand where people are going to respond. I think it's really important. So if someone really responds well to email, focus on that. If someone's like SMS or they've already clicked on something, you can then add filters of don't send them another email after that. And just like timing of it all, you may send an SMS at the beginning of the day to spark some intrigue, send email at a different time later on in the day. So there's a lot of different strategies to balance it out, but essentially use as many own channels as possible, because different people are going to favor different things and they're going to look at different times.
Yeah, I love that. Travis.
Yeah, just maybe echoing what both of them said. I mean, I haven't had app experience, and only in this role have I had to do SMS or MMS, but I'm sort of struck by the engagement, the lift, the rate of return sort of exceeds what goes into it. I mean, it's early days for me, so I'm still my soup has, more experience, so can provide guidance, but I'm just sort of wrestling with like simple things like, do we send the email and the teaser on the same day? Do we send them staggered 4 hours apart? I mean, these are things that I'm trying to these are things I'm spending my time wrestling with, but
yeah,
but it's really
fair. It's fair to wrestle with. I think that's a very fair question to wrestle with. Now, to wrap this up, we have 1 minute left. I would love to ask each one of you to reply with one word. When you're thinking of subject lines, do you prefer clear or clever? Vera?
Clever all the way.
I love that. Adam?
Test. I think it really depends on the brand.
Ooh.
and see what works for you. And also mix it up a little bit too. That can get people on their toes and provide intrigue.
As a consumer, do you like clear or do you like clever? I'll flip it back.
Clear.
Yeah. All right. And Travis?
As a writer, I love clever, but as a marketer, I've seen clear crush clever in tests, and it's made me sad because I thought I was being smart. So
I know.
I don't know.
Feel that.
I like a good pun, but I also, my final hot take, communicate your savings in dollars or currency, not percentages, people. I've tested this many, many times over the course of like 3 or 5 years, and dollars always wins out.
Yeah, I love that. That is a great like moment to end on. I want to thank you three for joining us today and everyone in the audience for coming to Inbox on the Rocks. Hopefully you were all hydrated or calm or going off to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all so much. I hope this was helpful, and we hope to see you at the next Inbox on the Rocks. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
so
everybody.
much.
Thanks, Naomi.